So you're gonna start with your knees really wide and your big toes together, but I want you to slide your hands together so your thumbs touch. Yeah. So your knees are really wide and your hands are together, they're touching, and your arms have a lot of extension. So my brim of my hat is in the way, but what you would want if you're not wearing a hat is to have the front of your forehead resting on the mat. And I find when you do it this way, you can really spread your lower back and create this really nice activation of your arms. Good. And take a couple cycles of breath that work for you this morning. Like, don't be so hung up on like, I have to breathe Ujjayi breath the entire practice, because the reality is nothing works 100% of the time. So we just kind of do the best we can. When you're in this child's pose and your arms are activating, go ahead and just take your left palm and slide it on top of your right palm. So now the two hands are on top of one another. Good, and then take the left palm down and then just very slowly move the right palm on top of the left palm. And just little movements in the body to begin to activate, to arrive, to settle in. Lots of extension through the spine as you create a little bit more space. Good, separate the hands, but keep actually the thumbs together today. So the hands are really close together, the thumbs are touching and the fingers spread. Curl the toes into the mat and press to down dog this way this morning. You can keep your feet hips width, or you could go ahead and actually play with separating your feet a little wider. It may feel really nice and give you a nice stretch. So if it doesn't work for you, you always just try things. And if it's not for you, you ditch it. But so the hands are together. Yeah, the thumbs are touching. Perfect. You may need to bend behind your knees a lot or a little bit. And your feet can be as wide as the mat, or they can be hips width distance. You pick. And just kind of play with the feeling of a pose that you do all the time. Like literally, we do this pose all the time, but just feel the body arrive in a different way. Plug down. Breathe through the sides of the body. Breathe the hips up off the shoulders. And let the head just kind of be free and soft. Fix your eyes on one spot that's not moving. And just be still. Roll forward to plank like this. Yeah, try it like this. So the hands, the thumbs are touching, but the fingers are still spread. So you're getting the broadening of the upper shoulders. And you want to guide your chest through your body. And I automatically, just in my nature, look to the front edge of the mat. So that's just a good spot. That's a good habit to get into. Contract the belly to the back of the spine. Fire up your thighs, like really firm them up. And if you're here and you're struggling, drop your knees, and this is fine. If you're here and it doesn't work for your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, you drop to your forearms. But hold tight. Feel the outer sides of your body engage. Let your breath now sink to the feeling of holding the pose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Find length, find space. Stay with it. Inhale through your nose, contract the belly to the back of the spine, plug down. Exhale through the nose, stay with it. One more giant breath in. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Now you can just separate your hands in a regular way and your feet the regular way. So regular downward facing dog. Now roll forward plank and see how it feels. Plank position. Yeah, stack your body nicely. Yeah, drop your knees if it's too much. So feel like you're leading with your chest. It's a really good way to, yes, when you lead with your chest, try not to judge your head or your neck forward. So your drishti, your focal point, stays right to the front edge. Good, now keep all that and lower halfway if you're taking push-ups today. Not everyone feels they need to take push-ups in their flow, so just do what feels right. Keep your focus on the front edge, re-straighten your arms to a plank and pause. Contract inward, lower again, halfway chaturanga, or just stay as you are. Re-straighten your arms to a slow plank. Do it again, slow it down, drop your knees, chaturanga if you need support. This time lead with your chest a lot for your up dog. Pull the chest through if up dog is unavailable. You come to baby cobra, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So you're gonna go ahead and drop to your knees into a tabletop position. Your hands are slightly forward. Yeah, so they're like an inch in front of your shoulders. Take your left leg and roll it out just a little like this and slide into a Vashisthasana side plank that's supported. So it's a modified side plank. This is one, Allison, you can drop down to your forearm if that suits your body and the recovery process. Yes, stack so your hip, your knee, and your ankle are all in one line, and spread your chest, your collarbone open, look up. And feel the activation of your bottom leg, your bottom arm, pressing firm into the mat. You can really get the obliques to fire up today. The next couple movements will be a little slow. Do your best with it. Keep lifting from your core, from your inner thigh. Keep the lift of your right leg. Don't drop it. Look down. Just look down. Right hand comes down. You're going to come and swing your left leg around so your right leg is back. So you're in this kind of one-legged tabletop position. Your arms are firm. Now look forward. Hug your right knee towards your navel. Your right knee is in and your left knee is down in a tabletop position, and your right knee is hugging in. Pause there. Grip your outer triceps in. Now look forward. Step your right foot all the way forward. Now use your hands to get your foot forward and through, and then left leg is back on an angle. Bring yourself up this way into a supported lunge. Supported lunge. I like the toes curled into the mat. For me, I just feel like I can fire up the backside of my leg a little more, but you can have the top foot down too. Broaden across the collarbone. If you can look up, just look up with your eyes, not your neck. Grip your hips in and just feel. Good. Now, as you reach down towards the floor, the left hand's going to come down, the shoulder's going to stack, and you're going to line everything up. The back knee's going to lift, and you're going to come into a very basic, easy twist. Be mindful that your right hip does not wing out this morning. So less is more. Slide the two arms in opposite directions. You can look right. I'm not going to lie, and I don't want to make you all jealous, but the view is not so bad here. Stack the two shoulders and look up. And so I see the guy who hits the ball into the water or the sand trap. That'd be kind of funny. Look down with your eyes. Take both hands to the floor. Drop your left knee. Slide back to tabletop. So when you come to the tabletop, automatically set yourself up so your hands are a little bit further forward, like an inch or two, and the toes are curled. Now take your right leg and swing it out, and then roll open to this Vashisthasana side plank. This is a great way to know how to take side plank that's less jammy in the joint. Yes. Another great alternative, and I play with this sometimes, is to come to your fingertips. Yeah, and that's going to really get you out of your joint of your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, and require the body to do more. Look up, flex your top foot strong, lift from your inner thigh, and draw your core muscles in. Connect to your breath. Like there's doing the pose and there's doing the pose, breathing in the pose, being mindful in the pose. Keep the lift of the leg, look down, just plant the palms, square the hips, curl the right toes into the mat and keep the left leg lifted. Hug the left knee towards the navel, draw in tight. So just do that much. Firm up the sides of your triceps, then look all the way forward and step your foot all the way forward and through. Let your right knee slide back a little, keep the toes curled, and then come up, supported lunge. Feel the outer hip grip. Feel your left heel plug down. Feel the hip points move forward, and then just reach up boldly with your arms and look up a little with your eyes. Pause. Hands come down, right hand tense, back knee lifts, come into an easy twist right here. So kind of make it a seamless movement. Two shoulders stack, block underneath your bottom arm if you need. Yeah, you do what feels right, what feels good, but you move appropriately with alignment for your body. Grip the hips in, activate your back leg, twist a little bit more. Look down, take both hands to frame the front foot. This time, step back plank. When you arrive in plank, bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog, point your toes, activate your legs, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat this morning, 2 big steps to arrive safely. Long spine on the inhale breath, hands can also rest to your shins, totally cool. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up this morning, anchor, drag your hands to prayer at heart, and stand tall. You can practice with your feet together or a little separated, you pick. Inhale the breath, stretch the arms straight up. Exhale, dive over bent knees, forward fold. You got it. Long spine on the inhale breath, just step to plank. Yeah, lower halfway to a chaturanga, move with ease. Upward facing pulls your body through, legs are strong, toes point, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Just let yourself settle into the practice. There's nowhere to run to in the practice. There's no agenda. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine right here. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Keep going. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step, or you can float. I'm actually not going to do any jumping on this balcony. Yeah, lower halfway, upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Make it graceful and light. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Keep going, arms reach up, nice and big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through vinyasa. So remind yourself that when you jump back, you jump to a chaturanga. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Each one starts to feel a little better, or at least we tell ourselves that. Yeah. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Just do one more. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Last one of these. Arms reach up. Dive again over bent knees. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step or float. If you're just stepping, try and alternate. Bend your elbows in half for your chaturanga. Upward facing dog pulls you through. These look good, guys. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So in your down dog, keep your feet the way they are. Walk your thumbs back in. So just take this kind of funky, and if it doesn't work for you, just ignore me. That's the beauty of being where you are and where I am. Yeah, keep your feet hips width, but keep your thumbs touching if you can. Breathe your hips up off your shoulders. Now, from here, roll forward to plank. So from here, roll float forward to plank. Good. Take your right knee towards your right tricep and the general direction. So keep your hip point squared and plug down. Slide the right foot back. See if you can hover the toes and point. Try it again. Right knee moves slow. Try not to let your hips not move as well. Right leg back. Let the toes hover and point. One more. Right knee, right tricep. Keep looking forward. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So it's kind of a funky, like you're going into lizard. Keep your right foot pivoted forward, the right hand down or reach for a block. Turn your back foot strong. So now I'm going to set up and I'm actually going to use the outer edge of my mat. So I know my feet aren't all over the place. We're going to a B variation from here of extended side angle. Extend your left arm up. So kind of creating this connection and your awareness from the ground up. You got it. So the right hand's on the inside of your right foot. Your right leg is bent in half to a 90-degree angle, and the left arm sliding straight up. The back foot's on a strong angle as well. Yeah, so you've got warrior 2 feet. Lean back a little bit, grip your right hip firm underneath you, and twist your bottom ribs. So this is a spot I was talking about. If you always feel like you're pressing your hand into the floor or the block, You can come up onto your fingertips. You can even pull your hand away from the block or the floor and really require the lower half of the body to do a little bit more. Take the left arm and wrap it around if you want to bind today. Keep driving your feet into the mat, turning your bottom ribs and twisting open. You can also modify arm resting on thigh, totally available. Stay with this, a few more breaths. So as you twist, open up your throat, open up your chest, anchor your feet, plug down. If you took a half bind, extend the arm, extend it up, anchor through your feet and legs. Here we go, warrior two, come on up. Warrior two. Drive your feet into the mat. Make sure that your right foot and your left arch are lining up. Your side body is long, so there's no twisting action going to the front edge of your mat. Breathe across your body. Let's do this today. Wrap your left arm underneath your right. I like this, it just feels good. And rather than tugging down, lift your elbows up and then hold here. 5 breaths. If wrapping your arms like this doesn't work, go hands to the opposite shoulders. It's a little less aggressive. That looks great, Allie. Pull the elbows up. It's going to broaden the chest and the shoulders. Turn up the inner part of your right thigh. So right thigh moves away towards the outer blade of your right foot. Sit deeper. 2 more. Unravel your arms open, warrior two, pause. Lots of space you're creating from the ground up. Good, straighten your right leg. Pivot your right toes, so now my toes are facing towards you. I'm gonna take my arms and clasp them behind my back. Interlace them. Inhale the breath, bend at your knees. Exhale, bend forward and fold. Let your head go. If having your hands bound, you need an alternative. Your hands can just rest directly on the floor in between the arches of your feet and you could fold that way. Bend behind your knees as much as you need so you rock your weight forward, let your head go. The shorter the stance, the tighter the stance, the more intense it's going to be, most likely. Keep anchoring your feet, keep pulling up on your inner arches. Pull yourself halfway up, slide your hands to your hips, pull yourself the rest of the way up. Keep the left leg exactly where it is, turn your right foot out, open up your arms. Stack your torso so it's straight up and down, so now you have straight arms and straight legs. Pivot into triangle here, soften behind your right knee. A block's a great option, outside of the foot, outside of the calf somewhere, so you can get the lift of the torso. Leaning back sensation. I don't want to lean back too much here. Yeah, side body is opening. It's not a back bend, it's more of like a little twist to the torso. Look up with your eyes. Soften the shoulders. Another pose that if you feel like you're dumping all the weight down, just lighten this hand. Use the back of the palm to press against the inside of the calf. Stay with this. Look down, circle the hands to frame your front foot, peel your left heel off, lean onto your left hand, Vashisthasana side plank. You can also take this top leg into a tree. It may feel good to do that. You could modify, you could omit this, lift from your bottom hip and slide the 2 arms up and down. To work the side body more, the right arm will wrap forward like it would in an A variation of extended side angle. Flex the feet strong, lift the hips a little higher, hang on to the breath. Look down with your eyes, plank position. Chaturanga, or you can go right to a dog. Upward facing dog, hips up and back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, keep your feet the same distance, just walk your thumbs together one last time here. Roll forward to plank like this. So plank position with your thumbs touching and your feet hips width distance, look forward, draw your belly in. Take your left foot, lift it up off the ground an inch, and then slide it to the outside of your left tricep. Keep looking forward. Keep everything long and neutral. Slide the left leg back, point the toes, hover it from the ground. Try it again, left knee, left tricep, just do your best. Slide it back, let it hover, point the toes. One more time, hug it to the outside. Keep looking forward. See if you can step your foot all the way forward. You may need to use your hands. Get your left hand on the inside of your left leg like you're going to a lizard pose, but we're not. Turn the right foot. Line up the feet at the edge of the mat. It helps tremendously. Slide a block underneath your hand or bump your arm on the top of the thigh. Left palm down, right arm up. You slide yourself into an extended side angle B. So we adapt to the poses day by day. Our bodies are never the same. Really use the back leg. Yeah, the right leg. Take your top arm, wrap it around if you want. And then when you twist, the twist should be pretty freeing and opening. You're twisting through your upper throat, chest, broadening the collarbone, gripping that left hip underneath you. Stay with it. So try and ride the breath. The exhale breath takes you a little deeper into the pose. Feel your feet spread wide. 2 more. Unravel your right arm if you add it on. Anchor through your feet and legs without too much bounce. See if you can pull up warrior 2. And then take a second to, reestablish the stance. Notice if your feet kind of traveled all over the place. Lengthen the tailbone, turn up the inner thigh, broaden across the collarbone and the chest. And then we'll go ahead and take eagle arms. So wrap your right arm underneath. If you think you messed up the arms, take the arm you haven't stretched. Lengthen. Rather than yanking down, pull the arms up, look forward. Send the tailbone down towards the ground. Yeah. And turn up the inner thigh. So roll your left thigh open. Great. Connect to your breath. Slow inhalation, fierce full exhalation. Drive down. Feel more energy as we hold and intensify the pose. Unravel your arms, warrior 2. I like to keep my thumbs up and spread my palms so they're facing towards you. Straighten the left leg on track. Take your hands to your hips for a second. Turn the left toes in. Clasp the hands, opposite grip. Inhale the breath, broaden the collarbone. Bend behind your knees always as you forward fold. And then take it down to the mat. Let the head go. Let the clasp hands drop towards the ground. Let your head go. If your head easily touches the floor, just walk your feet in a little closer. That's never a problem I've had. Yeah. So tighter stance is going to be a little bit more intense. Bend behind your knees. Ditch the grip if it's not working for you this morning. Pull yourself halfway up, pause. Hands to your hips. The rest of the way we come up, we open our arms wide. So my wrists and my ankles line up directly. Keep your right foot the way it is and just turn your left foot out. Try to make a little movement. Side body long, broaden across the chest, and then you pivot into your triangle. So as you come to triangle, I automatically bend a little behind my knee, keeping things safe. Use a block if you need it today, or just grab somewhere on the front of your shin. Slide the right arm up and then look towards the sky. So this is inner and outer thighs working. Yeah. And side body obliques. I like to play with spreading your toes. You can give that a go and see if you can really anchor on the rest of the foot. Just a few more breaths. Look to the floor, circle the hands down, pivot the heel and set up for your version of a side plank. Right palm's going to be the hand that's down. Top leg can bend up into tree if you're feeling creative. Stack the 2 arms. You can modify with the top leg bent or the bottom knee to the floor. Top arm wrapping forward is going to give you a little bit more intensity through the side body. Lift a little higher. Stay with it. Look down with your eyes, plank position. Chaturanga if you're feeling it. Upward facing dog. It's bold. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's keep things moving here. Right foot forward, back foot turns. Set up for warrior one. Should feel pretty good. Your whole torso, guys, forward towards the front edge of your mat. Your back foot's on a strong angle. Yeah. So steer your right hip back and your left thigh and ribs forward. Hands come down. Vinyasa, you can go right to a dog. Up dog should feel good though. No slamming into your lower back. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Immediately the left foot steps. It's a pretty big step. The back foot turns, anchor and rise, warrior one. Your left hip is hugging in. Your right thigh is wrapping forward. And my torso is facing forward. Press down. Good, hands come down. This time I just want you to walk your left foot to the front edge of your mat, front facing forward, and spring your right foot forward. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Now we get into sit into chair pose. I know everyone's so excited for their first chair here. Dig the heels into the mat. Create a little natural C curve through your low back. Let your thighs drop down deeper, everybody. Don't be afraid of the posture. Sit a little bit more. Shoot up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go. Let's have some fun with it. Don't take yourself so serious. Arms reach up. Sit again into chair. Dive over those bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. So you move at your own pace. Some of us move a little quicker, some of us move faster. Hands come down through vinyasa. Up dog, broaden the collarbone. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor when you are ready. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. You always have a second or two to kind of regroup in your downward facing dog. Nice. Good work, guys. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Yeah. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit into that exciting chair pose. Weight moves into your heels. You can always separate your feet a little and do it that way. Shoot up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Repeat. Arms reach up. Sit again to chair. So stick your butt way back and lower your seat. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot turns. Warrior one. Moving and grooving here. Hands come down, vinyasa. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot forward. Turn the back foot strong, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor. At this point, you can skip and just go right to a dog. Upward facing dog should feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Keep breathing those hips high up off you. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Press all the way up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Just one more. Let's keep it simple. Arms reach up. Sit again, chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Exhale your breath. Step or float for your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Smooth operation. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Here we go. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor. through vinyasa. Activate your legs in that up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot forward, back foot turns. Warrior one. Hands come down through vinyasa. Upward facing dog, smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, let's keep this simple. Just step your right foot smack in between your hands. You're already here. Turn your back foot strong. Circle open, warrior two. Yeah, we were here before. We're not going to hold it forever, I promise. Just feel your body in space for a second. Feel your feet grounding you. You should feel supported by the posture, not like the posture is going to blow you over, like the wind's going to blow me over right here. Anchor, turn up the inner part of your thigh. Look forward, reach out, and you're going to go for an extended side angle A right now. I'm going to use a block outside of the foot. I've been finding myself putting the block up really high. That's okay. You can also rest your arm on the top of the thigh. This time you can try and wrap your arm up and forward towards the front edge of your mat. But there has to be a turning of your bicep to kind of capture this. So if your arm is coming in front of your face or you find yourself in a position where you can't breathe fully, just back out. Make a connection with the outside of your right leg and the inside of your right arm if your hand is down on the floor of the block. Just a few more. Turn up your breath, turn your right hip and hug it underneath you. Yeah, slide your left arm up, pause, look down, you're gonna float to a half moon. Use the block, you can put it on a medium or a high setting. If you don't have one, you're gonna go to the floor or maybe your sofa or an ottoman. And like you did in that side plank very early in the practice, recreate it here. But now you're balancing, gripping your right hip underneath you, turning your bottom ribs, and then trying to look up. If you feel like adding a Chokasana today, by all means, make the pose work for you. When you grab your ankle, the kick goes behind you though. This is another one. You can work on lightening your right hand from the floor or the mat. But you're doing a lot of work on your right hip. You're hugging it in and keeping that right foot forward. Stay with it a little longer. If you added a bind, just release and meet me in a regular half moon. I'm still here waiting for you. There's no rush. Good. Look down, transition slow. Left hand to the floor, square your hips. Pause, slide your feet together. Sit into chair, move the weight into your heels. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, turn to the right. If your lower back feels sensitive, this happens to all of us because we're not getting younger, we're getting older. So don't hook and like get in there. Stay up a little higher. I'm demonstrating here. You're still getting the same action of the pose, but less like jamming into your low back. So work on your alignment. If you're okay and you want to hook the elbow or even open up your arms, go for it. Make sure your feet, your knees, your ankles, your thighs, everything stay lined up. And then look right or look up. Stay with it. Keep moving the weight into your heels. 2 more breaths. Weight in your heels, chair. Shoot up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Separate your feet, hips with distance. Keep your right leg where it is. Step your left foot back 3 feet. Slide your hands up your back. When I say reverse namaste, so you namaskar, your hands go up your back. It should look like this, guys. If this is unavailable to you, you can just knuckle your hands or you can grab opposite elbows. Yes. Steer your hips forward. Inhale that breath. Exhale, come halfway down. Steer your hips back and then come the rest of the way down. Let your head go. So Parsvottanasana today. Don't get so caught up and you need to be deep. I'd rather you work on just aligning yourself. If your hands are in the reverse prayer, keep pressing the palms, broadening the upper shoulder blades. And breathe into the back side of your body. Right hip has to lift, left foot has to press firm. Come halfway up, pause. If you have your hands bound behind you, just release them down to the ground and step to a down dog. When you get to downward facing dog, option to move through a vinyasa, that's up to you right now. If it feels good, you do it. If you're not into it, you just breathe and pause. Take a deep breath in. From your downward facing dog, we're just going to keep it really simple. Step your left foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot strong and circle open warrior two. Warrior two. We having fun yet? They're having like a breakfast feast over here and we're working our butts off. Right. Yeah. Turn up the inner part of the thigh. Just settle in, a couple more breaths. I'm going to move you through the flow. Just work on the lower half of the body and then stack your body from there up. Right. Look forward. Reach with your left hand, and then you're going to go ahead and reach and slide it to the outside of your foot, to a block, or rest your arm on your thigh, right arm straight up towards the sky, or wrap your arm forward. Good. Swing your left hip underneath you. Yeah, turn up the bottom ribs. And I know for me, I'm really concentrating on keeping the outer part of the left leg pressing against the inside of the left arm. And if you are not there and your arm is just resting on your thigh, soften your shoulder. And then there's a sweet spot in this pose where you just kind of want to run and bag it all in. So we're kind of there. Breathe. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body for a moment. Slide your right arm up, look down, float up to your half move. Whatever that looks like today. If you need to lean against a wall or a small person. So think of the early part of the practice where we created that side plank. This is the same pose. Now your leg is just straight and the foot is forward, the hip is gripping in. Stack the two arms. Add in the bind if you care to, Shavasana, or just stay with what you're doing. A lot of space from your left hip to your left armpit, and your right leg is in line with the rest of your body. It's not lifted super high, just in line. More breaths. If you add in the bind, just meet me in a regular half moon. And remind yourself the transition is its own pose. So look down, right hand to the floor, square your hips. Slide your feet together. Then sit into your chair. Your chair pose. Really anchor down here. Hands to prayer, inhale the breath, hook the elbow, turn to the left. Very easy for your right knee to want to slide past your left. So see if you can keep them lined up. You know what helps me? If you're not separating your feet, if you keep your toes, your big toes together, I actually separate my heels a tiny bit, and I find that I can kind of get in there a little more. Open up your arms if you want more. If not, just hang with this. Drive down to create more space in your spine as you twist. Keep the shape of the legs, keep moving the weight into your heels, pull to chair, look forward, chair pose. Shoot up to stand, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms, separate your feet, hips width distance, slide your hands to your hips, step your right foot back about 3 feet, good. Walk your hands up your back. If you just went fist to fist, or opposite elbow, or hands to hip, that's totally cool. Inhale the breath, lift the heart and chest, exhale the breath, come all the way forward, Parsvo. Steer your left hip up and back. Activate all the muscles around your right quadricep and thigh so you can lift out of the kneecap. And let your head go. So you don't need to come all the way down. If your hands are in reverse prayer, keep pressing the palms together. Continue to walk them up the back. Create a broadening of your upper chest. Breathe through the back side of your body. Just don't hang in the pose and wait for it to be over. Two more. Come halfway up, pause, steer your hips back. If your hands are bound, just release them directly underneath the shoulders and then plant the palms and step back, down dog. You pick vinyasa or not, it doesn't matter. If you want to keep it moving, you take a vinyasa. If you've had enough of them, you just hold. From your downward facing dog, slide your right foot forward, crescent lunge. Crescent lunge. A little bit more, guys, we're almost there. So we're gonna really check out our balance right here. Arms wrapped forward, just like this, straight with your arms, up and down with your torso. So just reach like you're handing someone something. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Think about a lot of weight in your front leg and keeping it bent, and make this seamless. Left leg around into eagle. It might not be pretty. Steer your hips back. If you can't get your foot to wrap around your calf, don't worry about that. Just wrap the thighs like you're sitting under a table. Keep your hips moving forward, your weight in your right heel. And rather than pulling down on your elbows, lift your elbows up. Breathe. Stay with it. Weight should be in your standing heel. Keep squeezing the lower half of the body super tight. Keep it engaged. Just unravel your arms like you're in a chair pose. Press into your standing right leg and hug your left knee to your navel. Do it slow. Flex the foot strong. So just standing up now on your right leg, your arms are reaching high to the sky, and your left leg is bent. Good. So from here, you're going to take a giant step back to warrior one. Warrior one. And if it didn't work out, you reset. Drop your arms by your side body. Clasp your hands. Inhale that breath. Steer your hips forward. Exhale, come forward into humble warrior. So humble warrior, a couple different ways you can take it. You can rest your stomach on your right thigh, or you can kind of work in there and get your right shoulder to snuggle in there. But what we don't want is our hips pivoting towards the side. We want our hips moving forward. So find what works while you continuously bend into your front right thigh. And you may find you need to take a little bit of a longer stance. Let the head go. Drop the clasped hands if you're there. Hug and hit the right hip underneath you. And continue to steer your left thigh and waist forward. It didn't freeze, we're still holding. Anchor strong through your feet and legs. Pull yourself up, unravel your arms, warrior one. Slide your hands to prayer at heart. Pick up your left heel, scooch it back a little. You're in a crescent lunge and you're preparing to twist. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow and take it to the right. You can drop your back knee at this point. So there is a pose that you take warrior one and you take warrior one and you take the twist. So you could obviously play with that, but I lifted my back heel. You could even just drop your knee and get in there that way. Yes, if you want to add binds, you add binds. Katie, take a little wider stance in the width, like walk your right foot over. You may have more stability. Yeah, perfect. Activate your back leg. Nice, Mark. Stay with it, Kristen. Breathe right there. A little longer, guys. There's a leaning back. Yeah. And there's a gripping of your inner and outer thighs. Last 2 breaths. Look down, take both hands to frame your front foot. Smooth transition, plank position. Chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, land your left foot forward, crescent lunge. So sometimes balance, I consider it a blessing. You never know if you have it or you don't have it. If today's an off day, it's okay. Wrap your arms forward, straight forward towards the front without your body moving. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. Lift your elbows up. Just do this much first. Focus strong on your left leg, bend deep. Wrap your right thigh around. Eagle. Your foot around your calf is kind of like the icing on a cake. It tastes really good until you realize, ooh, I probably shouldn't be eating all that. Yeah, so don't worry about it if it's not working for you. Squeeze tight. Bend into the standing leg. The weight moves into your heel. Keep lifting your elbows up. Steer your hips forward. Fix your eyes. Squeeze tight with your legs. Just unravel your arms. Just do that much. Your arms are reaching up like chair. Your legs are still an eagle. Press into the standing left leg and hug your right knee firm in towards your chest. Flex your foot. Standing on your left leg, your right leg is bent. Draw the belly in. Take a giant step back. See if you can find warrior one. Warrior one. If you need to reset, you reset. Drop your arms. Pause. Opposite clasp. Steer your hips forward. Inhale that breath. Exhale, come forward. Humble. So I get forward and I'm like, okay, I need to walk my right foot a little to the right. And it's okay to reset. Stomach either resting on the top of the thigh or snuggling the shoulder down and in there. Focus on the outer blade of your back foot. Press it firm. And then you'll notice all the muscles of your right quadricep really get, engaged. And then your right ribs turn forward. Spread your toes wide rather than clenching. Continue to hug your left hip underneath you. Stay with it. Keep the breath flowing. Anchor through your feet and legs. Pull your torso up. Spread your arms up. Warrior one. So warrior one legs, or you can pick up the heel. It's up to you. Hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow. Take it to the left. So you could try it with the back foot in warrior one, or you can go ahead and just pick up the heel and take the crescent twist, the more traditional way. Good. Grip the hips underneath you. Scissor the inner and outer thighs and get in there. Open up your arms. I know for me in this pose, as I get tired, as I fatigue in the practice of this pose, my back leg wants to kind of drop. Contract the glute and the hamstring and hang with it. 3 more. Good. Look down, place both hands to the floor. Walk your left foot to the center of the mat. Yeah. You're going to go ahead and you're going to step your right knee behind it and you're going to come down to sit for oldie but goodie Ardha Matsyendrasana. Good. 2 butt cheeks are down. This right leg can also be forward. The left leg is bent and the foot's to the outside of the knee. Left hand comes behind you. Right arm's going to come up. Inhale the breath. Exhale, look over the shoulder and twist. Good. Come up through center. And the real reason I did this is I want to set your lower half of the body up for Gomakasana Seat because we just worked a lot of outer hips. So the way to get into this is to shift your weight forward like you're moving into a tabletop. Then slide your left knee on top of your right knee and separate your feet and your heels as much as you can. Then start to slide your butt back. Now, if you're really tight, some of you are probably going to be like this. Reach for a block or a towel and slide it underneath. The idea is that you want equal distance between the sides of your hips and your heels. Yes. And you want to feel this through the outer part of your legs. If you can get your whole bum down, that's great. It's going to be more intense. Few options. You can hook the big toes, inhale the breath, and you can think about hinging forward. The next option is to go with Gomakasana Arms. So you can take your right arm up and slide your left hand up the back. And back of the head is going to press against the inside of that right arm, kind of like a pool raft that you're lying on. Inhale that breath, lengthen, and exhale, maybe you hinge forward. I'll just stay upright and breathe. So a couple different options. Let me see how you're doing with that. Very nice. So if you're hinging forward, remember, you're not leading with your head or your chin. Yeah. Ankle to knee is also available if this is not working. Mark looks like he's in his happy place in this pose. Yep. Good. Pull your torso up. Good. Unravel any arm variations maybe that you have. And to get out of the pose, just unravel through a tabletop. Yeah. Tabletop position. Step to a downward facing dog. And then just go ahead and slide your right foot to the center of your mat and your left knee to the outside for Ardha Matsyendrasana seated spine twist. So just the easiest way to get in today. Right hand behind you, can give your left leg a little hug. Inhale that breath. Exhale, look over the shoulder and twist. So in these types of poses, less is more. You don't need to have like these wow movements that you feel so much. It may just be subtle movement. Good. Come back to center. Rock your weight forward into a tabletop and then slide your right knee on top of your left. Broaden your calves away from you and come down. So those of you that are here, maybe it's not working out today, you can also just crisscross the legs and sit in crisscross applesauce and just fold as another option. Good. Add in the Gomakasana arms if you did on the other side. Or hinge forward. And just breathe. 5 more breaths. You could even close your eyes. Let's do something fun. So wherever you are, pull yourself up. It may or may not work, but we'll try. Okay, so let go of your arms, but keep your legs like this. Grab onto your ankles. Inhale your breath, create a lot of length. Exhale, start to roll back onto your backs for butterfly pose on your back. How did that work? Oh yeah, it worked out pretty good. Pull the feet away from you. Yeah. Good, and then just switch the legs and get the other side. So now the left side goes on top and pull. Broaden the upper collarbones and the chest. Good, unravel here. Give both knees a little squeeze. Before we do our back bends, extend your left leg forward, hug your right knee in towards your chest just like this. Keep the shoulders down for a second and keep the left calf down on the ground. Reach your arms straight forward like a Pilates roll up. When you drive your arms forward, keep your right leg bent. So you're taking your knee to your nose to your knee. Float the left calf if you want more, scoop up the lower belly and drive your arms forward. Hold. You're not lifting from your head and your neck, you're lifting from deep inside your belly. Now keep the lift of your left leg, slide the right leg straight up, flex the right foot. So the right leg straight up, the left leg going forward, the scissoring of your inner thighs. Now drive your arms more forward. Flex both your feet a little bit more. Lift up a little higher, deep within your belly. Exhale the breath, lower the left calf. Grab behind the fleshy part of your right thigh. Relax the shoulders and let your leg fall into your hands and just give yourself a very passive hamstring release. If you need the hands further down the leg because you don't feel anything, then do that. Let the right leg fall to the floor. Good. Hug the left knee to the navel, give it a squeeze. Draw the knee and the eyeballs to touch. Reach your arms forward. This may be where you stay. Your lower back is pressing into the mat. Flex the feet. Float the right calf up off the ground. Drive the arms forward. Lift deep within your belly, not your neck. Float the left leg up. So the left leg is lifted, the right leg is floating. Both legs are straight. Drive the arms forward. Lift a little higher. Scoop out the belly. Lower the right leg. Grab behind the meaty part of your left thigh. Just let your left thigh and leg drop down into those clasped hands. Just breathe and let it go. Let the left leg fall to the floor. Good. Bend the knees in half. Set your feet and your body up for 2 big back bends. You could start off with just a bridge, right? Or you could just go for it this morning. Full wheel if you feel like you're ready. Yeah, Susie's ready. Flip the palms if you're ready, chin to chest. Nice, Katie. Just square your feet a little bit more forward and turn your inner thighs under you. Perfect. Anchor and then lift. If you're just in a supported version, I'm very happy in supported bridge these days. Yes, be okay with doing less. Exhale the breath if you went all the way up and lower it down. Take a breath in. If you're on a block, just stay. Okay, Kathy, bring your feet much closer together and then we'll go. Here we go, Katie, one more. Flip the palms, chin to chest, giant breath in. Exhale the breath, bring it up. Wherever you are, if you're just on a block, you can elevate your legs and kind of create that legs up the wall. It's perfect, Nancy. Be happy with where you're at right here in this moment. Nice, Amy. If you went up into full wheel, stay with it. Exhale the breath, start to come out. If your legs are just straight up and down, bend the knees in half, take the feet flat to the floor, remove any objects out of the way, and hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a big squeeze this morning. Big squeeze. Happy baby pose to conclude here. Grab the outer blades of your feet. Pull the knees down around your rib cage. Spread your lower back. Flex your feet. Broaden the upper shoulders to the ground. Hug your knees in tightly. Wrap your arms around the front of your shins. Tuck in tight. Take a big inhale breath. And on that exhale breath, extend. Shavasana, complete rest. Separate your feet, separate your legs, separate your arms. Close your eyes. And for the next minute or two, complete stillness. Take a big full breath in. And then a complete exhale breath, like a loud exhale breath out. As you move, bring your arms up over the top of your head. Really reach fingertips through toes. Be kind right here. Hug your knees to your chest, give them a big squeeze in. And then in your own way, in your own time, you rock yourself up. If you're not into that, you just gotta, dig laying down then. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes for a moment. And the feeling that you get after a yoga practice is like nothing else. It's really cool. So just enjoy this feeling, and let's hope it lasts more than just this moment. That's the goal. Hands to prayer, bow your head. Most importantly and always, have gratitude for yourself, right? For this body, for this life, for our health. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Go out there, have an awesome day. I think I've been inspired to play golf now. See you.